Hello everyone, I'm number one Marmaduke fan. Summa Trigorum, Summa Spoilerum, Summa Tangentum. The Fire by Annette Griesman with illustrated by Leonid Gore is a highest recommendation. This is a fantastic children's book, and I think professional artists could take notes from what Leonid Gore is doing. When I make videos, I have to skip pages to avoid copyright problems as I review the art, and Gore's illustration is so beautiful, it's going to be painful deciding which art to skip. I may just try to cover up some of my hand so I can talk about each of his compositions, because this is a person who's excellent in his craft and hitting all the details. In my series of reviews of children's book, I've noticed patterns when I've looked at lots of children's books. So some of them will be, one, two, threes, ABCs, colors, shapes. And one genre of children's book is firefighters or kids learn fire safety books. What I'll say about Griesman's text is this kind of manages to add like all those different genres of fire books into one, but make a poignant story. So, it features the firefighters, it features, the kids doing some fire safety stuff, but the thrust of the story is the emotional impact of losing your house in a fire. And I think this is an instance where Leonid Gore's illustrations are helping sell that emotional impact based on the power of what he's doing. So with that, let's flip that. So first thing I'll observe is that in a book that's about a fire, Leonid uses a warm glow everywhere. It's almost like he's foreshadowing the idea of this fire. And he uses kind of later we'll see a drawing where we can see some of his underdrawing in it, but he sketches out a very simple figures. He uses a warm glow and then just a few shades on top of that to give this sort of ephemeral, ghostly look. And then I guess we're living in a day and age where you could imitate this digitally, but I have a feeling this is oil pastel based on sort of the grungy texture of it and the brightness of the color. So if you haven't used oil pastel, I call them like the professional version of crayons, where crayons kind of stink and don't give you very good color at all. And that's why they're so frustrating to work with for little kids. But oil pastels give you a very rich color, and they respond very well to the texture of the paper. If that is a medium you haven't worked with and you love drawing, it's a way of essentially painting, I think, but painting using some of the techniques from drawing rather than the techniques of paint application. So it's a medium I would break out, and I really want to break it out after seeing what Leonid is doing here. So another thing Leonid does is he paces the art by having different colors and ideas throughout. So early pages, warm, happy, fun day at home. So lots of warm, bright yellow, happy colors. There's a warm yellow glow to everything. And then when the fire and the smoke starts creeping, it's like this dark purple, ominous idea is approaching. I love how fire almost functions as a metaphor for fear in this story, and it's treated that way. We don't see the fire, we just see a dark black shape, and we have a feeling of what's coming up. So the mom runs off and leaves the kids, and the girl leaves her little teddy bear Nino behind, and she teaches Pepito to crawl on the ground so that they don't breathe in the smoke fumes. Now look at this. We've gone from warm yellow to mostly dark black oppressing on them, with a little gray dull yellow at the bottom, which used to be a bright and intense color. Now everything's dull and the black is becoming more and more prominent. Now this I love too. So black shape of the smoke, the mom's like, it's almost Da Vinci-esque how he understands light, by which I mean he loves soft shadows. From light to dark, it's a lot of gradation. So they emerge from that into this bright blue. So the blue is bright. It's a relief from the dark black, but it's also in contrast to the warm yellows of the earlier pages. So from a joyful kind of warm yellow-orange composition to a mostly blue composition. And we retain that. So we're continuing the blue theme, which makes sense because it's kind of a cool night outside. It's working temperature-wise, evoking the idea of coldness of being outside. It works emotional-wise because blue is the color of sadness. And the kids punch forward. They're warm. The light of this fire is reflecting off their faces. Mom's in the background talking to a neighbor, and it's cooler, softer colors in the background, creating atmospheric perspective. Excellent. Look at this. All right, let's try to get that glare away. So now the firefighters are fighting the fire, and we've got bright red for the fire trucks. We've got the bright orange and yellow for the fire, and then purples, blacks, and blues fighting for each other for the effect of the smoke and the fire in the sky. And Oh, I wish you got to get this just so you can see the color for yourself in person, because I don't think the little phone recording can do it justice. But everything is balanced. All the colors are balanced and used throughout, and they all harmonize together. So even though even if I kind of squint my eyes and look back, the red fire trucks still punch. He knows where to use punchy colors. Look at this, the light reflecting off the firefighters' faces, the intensest, purest yellows and oranges for the fire itself, and the family kind of more ghostly in the background watching. More intense, powerful color for the fire. This is the one I was talking about. So here we can see some of Leonid's underdrawings. It's just looks like a really genteel graphite line drawing, sketching out, the figure, and then oil pastel probably right on top of that. I'm almost seeing like the influence of Madonna paintings, and this mother's just kind of putting her hand up to her face, and it's abstracted. So this isn't exactly a realistic face, but it works because the emotion of the emotion is suggested so powerfully that you can feel the emotion of this mother. And then look at this. Now that the fire is dying, it's becoming an oppressive purple and black composition with just a little bit of warmth under there. So the emotional use of color is consistent throughout. Now, if you all feel sad and terrible, well, I'm encouraging you to just go get this book for yourself. But the story is so simple, you kind of know what's happening next. So now it's like hope. Now he's using white. It's like this is the hopeful moment after the sad and dark and oppressive moment. The firefighter comes forth, and they were able to save a picture frame and Nino the teddy bear. And the family learns that family is the most important thing. Now look at this. So even though they're having a warm, happy moment at the end, it's not the same color composition as the first. They're warmer now, warmer yellows, warmer reds in their faces, contrasting with the blue and purple black background. But it's not like we're just back to bright and fun, happy time. It's just using the warm colors symbolically again to suggest hope at the end of the story. And I probably can't show that, but oh my gosh, what a phenomenal artist. I just want to read this. Annette Griesman graduated from Purdue University with a degree in electrical engineering. She worked as an engineer for 5 years. She took inspiration for this book from watching a house fire. Leonid Gore emigrated from Minsk in the former Soviet Union in 1990. There he had studied illustration and graphic design and illustrated a number of Russian books. He has since illustrated around 20 children's books in the United States. Critics have praised his work as visually stunning, I concur, astonishing, brilliant, and haunting. He gets his haunting effect through his soft use of color and his consistent use of soft gradation of light and shadow and warm and cool. His paintings have regularly been shown at the prestigious and competitive annual exhibitions of the Society of Illustrators in New York. He and his wife, Nina, live in New Jersey with their daughter, Emily. Leonid Gore is a phenomenal artist, and his understanding of warm and cool color, of rich darks and light lights, but also of softness in between, is something that every artist should learn within their own work. And his use of color harmony and color compositions is something that could be informative to you in your own artwork, be that manga or Western style comics or just interesting little art projects you do on your own. Get Leonid Gore on your radar. I'm #1 Marmaduke fan. I love this book. Why don't you like, comment, and subscribe for more comic book reviews and children's book reviews, and I'll catch you later.